Jai Hind dosto, I'm Gargi Rai and I'm back with another reading comprehension video for you all. In today's video, we are going to solve previous year questions. So without wasting time, let's just move ahead and see what the passage is. So before reading today's passage, I will tell you two very important things that you should follow before reading. First thing is that, if you read these two lines, you will see that they're saying you need to read the passage carefully and you need to read the passage carefully and answer the question that follows the passage, and your answer should be based on passage only. So while answering the reading comprehension questions, you should not apply any other knowledge that you have acquired on the topic given in the passage. So just refer to whatever is given in the passage and read it, and just form your answer out of that particular passage only. Okay, now let's just quickly read the passage. In some places in the world, the productivity of staples such as rice and wheat have reached a plateau. Neither new strains nor fancy chemicals are raising their heels, nor is there unfarmed land left that is suitable to be brought under the plow. If global temperature continues to rise, some places will become unsuitable for farming. Application of technology can help overcome these problems. Agricultural technology is changing fast. Much of this change is brought about by affluent farmers in the West Americas. Techniques developed in the West are being adapted in some places to make tropical crops more productive. Technology is of little use if it is not adapted. In the developing world, that applies as much to existing farming techniques as it does to the latest advances in genetics modification. Extending to the small holders and subsistence farmers of Africa and Asia, the best of today's agricultural practice in such simple matters as how these fertilizers are to apply and when would lead to greatly increased availability of food and humanity. So would things like better roads and storage facility to allow for carriage of surplus to the market and reduced wastage. So the passage is very simple. We can simply go on to solving the question now. So the question says, before based on the above passage, the following assumptions have been made. Assumption, this is again a repeated directive we have already done, so still I will explain something about assumption. So assumption is something that you accept without having a particular proof, and you believe that this is going to happen, so you take it as true without any particular proof. So that is assumption. So you are assuming something without any proof or without any sort of a presentation that that will show that this thing is going to happen, this is going to be true, or you just believe it like that. Okay, so going with the same thing, let's just see what these two assumptions are and if they are valid or not. Okay, the first one says development of agricultural technique is confined to developed countries. So this line, I think you can see here, application of technology can overcome application of technology can overcome these problems. Agriculture technology is changing fast, and much of this change is brought about by the affluent farmers in the West. So this is showing that the technology development is happening in the West. So this can be right. This is a valid assumption. Then agricultural technology is not adapted in developing countries. So if you read the next lines, technology is of little use if it is not adapted in the developing world. That applies as much to the existing farmers, is not adapted. ठीक है ना. So this second assumption is also correct and valid here. So now we have to mark the option. So if you see here, it says 1 only, 2 only, 1 and 2 both, and D is neither 1 and neither 2. So here C is applying very well. We've seen both these assumptions are valid with the help of the passage. So we are marking C as correct in this, and it is 1 and 2 both. Now let's just see other two questions. In the previous year, this was 2022 prelims paper. and I've taken these three questions from there which are based on this particular passage. Okay, now let's just see the next question. The next question is, based on above passage, the following assumptions have been made. Poor countries need to bring about change in their existing farming techniques. So yes, we have talked about the farming techniques in the passage. Next says, developed countries have better infrastructure and they waste less food. Now, this assumption that has been made, I haven't read anywhere in the passage. So there was no statement that was talking about wastage of food in western countries, oh sorry, in developing countries or better infrastructure. There was a statement that was saying that better infrastructure can actually help in less wastage of food. So this second assumption, I believe, is not correct. First is correct. So if you solve this, you will find out that the answer is only one, that is A. Okay, now let's see the last question. Based on the above passage, the following assumptions have been made. First is, growing enough food for future generation will be a challenge. Next is, corporate farming is a viable option for poor countries. See, it's very simple again. अगर आप लोगों ने अभी तक सीखा है तो first वाली for the first statement is saying growing enough food for future generation will be a challenge. So this particular sentence has been written in the beginning itself. If you see the passage, it is saying in some places of the world the productivity of the staples such as rice and wheat has reached a plateau. Neither new strains nor fancy agrochemicals are raising the yields. No, okay. So if the global temperature rises, this becomes unsuitable. So this particular section is actually showing, this is giving you an assumption that growing enough food for future generation will be a challenge. Now the second statement says, corporate farming is a viable option for food security in poor countries. So about corporate farming, we do not see any statement written in the passage. So how come we are taking this assumption? So this assumption doesn't seem to be valid. We have to find out the valid assumption. So yes, the first one seems very valid. Second is not that valid. Actually, it's not valid at all according to the passage. So we can just strike that off and the answer will be one only. Okay, so this is how we find out the answers. First, you learn what the directive in the question is saying, like assumption here. After understanding that, you mark the answer accordingly. Okay, so this is what the reading comprehension of today was all about. So if you have any queries or doubts, you can put it as a comment in the comment section below, and we will continue to help you through the reading section passage in these videos. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a very good day and all the best for your preparation.